Hi, this is Dave Young with the Vislar Group, and one of the games I'm going to share with you today is something I developed over the years using the verbal defense and influence strategies, principles, and tactics. I call this game verbal sparring. Now, verbal sparring is exactly what it means. Someone's going to offer you an argument, an insult, put you in a situation, respond to something that you initially started off saying, and then you're going to be timed and graded on how you respond back. We're going to make sure that we still keep informed with the art of representation. Your body posture is matching the language you're using. Your tone of voice, your word phrases, your hand gestures are all part of how you're going to respond. In verbal sparring, there are 3 rounds. One round, or round 1, is a 3x5 card. On the front of every card, it's going to tell you exactly what the situation is, or your theme. Then on the other side of the card is going to tell you what the person did and said. Then you're going to have 10 seconds on that card to give us a reply. And again, we developed this game because if you're going to learn how to respond under stressful situations, and you're going to have to redirect anger and conflict, you're going to need to know the right words to use and when to use them. So round 1 is 1 card and you have 10 seconds to respond. I'll give you an explanation. The first situation might be you're in a bar and the person in front of you is drunk and you're in line for the bathroom. And they turn around and bump into you and you turn around and look at them, and it ends up being a person of the opposite sex. And they look at you and they say, "Hey, aren't those clothes a little tight?" And then your time is going to start. You're going to have 10 seconds to respond to that comment. At the end of the 10 seconds, we will stop the 10 seconds. If you're still speaking, you lost that round. If you were able to combine with your proper comment, then you're going to get the point for that round. And you'll proceed to the second round. On round 2, there are 2 cards, and that round is 20 seconds long. Again, on the first side of the card, you will see the theme and your situation. You'll turn the card over and you'll quickly read it. An example I'll give is you're standing in line in the movie theater and the person in front of you ends up getting the cashier really mad and really flustered. But as they leave, you walk up and you order your food and you give them a $20 bill, but they only give you change for 10. And as you realize this and you're counting the money, people behind you are starting to get a little bit persistent, and the person in front of you, the cashier, turns around and says, "Sir, there's a line behind you. Please step to the side and go about your business." Well, you turn around and say, "Now your time will start." And you'll have, within 20 seconds, you'll have to complete both cards. So as soon as you give the response for the first card, the timer will stop that timer and tell you how many seconds you have left to complete the second card. The second card might be something like this. You're standing in line at work for the coffee, and there's 2 people in front of you. And you realize that there's not going to be enough coffee when you get up there, and your boss walks by. And your boss looks at you and says, "Hey, when you're done drinking all the coffee, make sure you fill it up." And then you're going to reply with, and you're going to have a certain amount of time, and we're going to be, again, grading you on your tone of voice, your body posture, your presence, your art of representation, and the words you choose to use. And that will complete round 2. Then you're going to go to round 3. And round 3 is a fast round because you have 3 cards, you have 30 seconds. And again, the front of the card is going to have a theme. And we'll say for this next card that you pull, it's going to be a situation where you end up spending $850 at Best Buy or a store of your choosing. When you get home, you buy a 50-inch flat screen TV. You plug it in the wall, you follow the directions, and it doesn't work. You quickly pick up the phone and call customer service. Customer service answers the phone, gives their proper greeting, and says, "Sir, how can I help you?" As you start to explain to them, they cut you off. Then when they come back on, they say, "Sir, please tell me what it is I can help you with." And as you start explaining to them, they continue to cut you off. What do you say and what do you do? Now your time will start. And you'll have 30 seconds to complete 10 cards. So as soon as you respond, you'll stop the timer, continue with the next two cards. The next two cards, or your second card of the third round, might say something like this. You need to call your boss and you need to ask for tomorrow off because you have a doctor's appointment. So you call your boss, and as you ask him for the day off, he starts to cut you off and he says, listen, you're always taking time off from work. I need you to concentrate on your job or you're going to lose it. Do you understand me? Now your time will start and you're going to have to respond appropriately in a timely manner using the art of representation, remembering where you are, remember how you're going to respond to that, and you're only going to get a short amount of time to do that. Once you're done responding, the timer will stop. Now you might have 3 seconds or 15 seconds based on how quick you are to think on your feet, your ability to decide which words to use, and how to best get your point across. And again, all staying within the verbal defense and influence principles, philosophies, and concepts. Hey, listen, I'm going to explain this to you a little bit closer so you can see the cards. I'm going to provide you with some written rules. And I think if you employ this into some of your training programs, you'll find out that it not only breaks the ice, but it also proves the point on why verbal defense and influence is not only a strategy or a theory, it's going to be a way of life. And I think you'll be very, very happy with it, as I know I am, and all of us here at Vistalar. These are the cards for verbal sparring. Again, you as an instructor can make up any card you'd like. But on the front side of the card, you're going to have your situation. And this situation is, you're in a food court at a local mall. The service person takes your order, and when you get the order, you realize the order is wrong. They turn around and say to you, look, I've given you what you've ordered. There's a line behind you. Now go sit down. And then your time is going to start, and you're going to have 10 seconds to complete the first round. And again, we're grading you on making sure you can stay within the verbal defense and influence, philosophies, concepts, and strategies. If you've completed that round, you'll get a point for round 1. And you can escalate to the next round, or advance to the next round, which would be round 2. 2 cards, 20 seconds. The first card is, it's a drunk, and you're in line for the bathroom. It could be at any social gathering. But a person of the same sex turns around to you and says, clothes are a little tight, don't you think? Then you're going to have 20 seconds to answer that card. If you answer it correctly, you get the credit and the point. Once you're done, the timer stops. You go to the second card right away. This one, you're at an ATM machine. The ATM machine takes your card and doesn't give it back to you. You call the number on the front of the ATM machine and you give them the universal greeting. And we're going to want to make sure, again, you're following along with the same strategies, concepts, and philosophies of verbal defense and influence. If you've completed 2 cards within the 20 seconds, you get to advance to the third round. The third round becomes a little harder. Now, the person that you're reading these cards to, they don't really know what it is you're going to say, but you'll explain the situation. Here's the first card. You walk out to your car, and there's another car parked directly behind you, with a driver sitting in it. And he's listening to his radio pretty loudly, but you can't back your car up. You walk up, and he quickly exits the car, points at you, and says, hey, I'm not moving my car, go away. And then your time will start. And once you get done responding, the timer will stop, and you'll go to the next card. This situation is you're standing in line and a person in front of you pushes back into you pretty violently and says, what are you, stupid? Why are you standing so close to me? And again, your time will start and you're going to have the remaining of the 30 seconds to come up with your answer. Then you get to have the last and final card of the third round. And this is the one that you call into work and ask for tomorrow off. The supervisor says to you, no. Now, we all know that a difficult person will start out with saying no, and then you're going to have to use, again, the strategies and principles and philosophies of verbal defense and influence. This is a game that you can easily change each of the themes to, each of the situations. It could be kids being bullied at school. It could be family problems you'll run into among your own family. This is a great mediation exercise. Or it could be something at work to teach you how to best come up with the best strategies for handling conflict or any type of communication. Because let's face it, if we don't use our skills, we lose them, because all skills are perishable. This is verbal sparring.